Christopher was not born into a life of glory. He wasn't some golden boy raised in a fancy gym or trained by world-class coaches from age 6. He was just Chris. A regular guy from a small town in New Jersey. A dishwasher. A waiter. A fry cook. And most days, all of the above. But there was one about Christopher that made people pause when they looked at him. His hands. They were huge. Strong. The kind of hands that looked like they belonged to someone who could punch through walls or maybe life itself. Christopher's love for boxing started, like many things, in front of an old TV screen. He watched clips of Muhammad Ali moving like magic. He listened to stories of Rocky Marciano never backing down. And in his tiny, one-bedroom apartment, after every late-night shift, he shadowboxed in front of the mirror like the world was watching. The reality, though, nobody was watching. Except maybe Mrs. Lopez from next door, who used to bang on the wall and yell, "Chris, it's midnight, go fight your dreams in the morning." But morning never came easy for Chris. Because mornings meant apron on. Back to the restaurant.
Chris worked at Bella Vita, a busy little Italian restaurant famous for two things. Chris worked at Bella Vita, a busy little Italian restaurant famous for two things. Pasta that could change your life. A boss that could ruin your life. Mr. Dominic, the owner, was a legend in his own way. Gruff, loud, and always carrying a cup of coffee like it was an extension of his body. "Chris," he'd bark. "Those tables aren't gonna clean themselves." Chris smiled through sore arms and tired legs. Every day was a fight of its own. Long hours, hot kitchens, angry customers, blisters from carrying too many plates, burns from rushing too fast past boiling water. But every paycheck, every tip, went straight into a small metal box in his closet. Written in Sharpie on the lid were just 3 words: Boxing Gym Fund.
It took him months. But finally one rainy Thursday Chris had saved enough. He walked into Iron Fist Boxing Club, a tiny, sweaty gym that smelled like dreams and disappointment. The owner, Coach Sal, looked at him for 2 seconds and said, "You here to take selfies or throw hands?" Chris just smiled. "I'm here to work." And work he did. Mornings in the restaurant. Nights at the gym. He got punched a lot. He got bruised everywhere. But something wild happened. He kept showing up.
Life became a perfect mess. Wake up at 8 a.m. Work until 4 p.m. Train from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sleep, repeat. His friends called him crazy. His mom called him worried. Mr. Dominic called him late a lot. But Chris didn't care. Every time he stepped into that ring, even for sparring, the world got quiet. No customers, no dirty dishes, just gloves. Just heart, just him. And that silence, that was worth everything.
Months turned into a year. Coach Sal finally said the words he'd been dying to hear. "You ready for your first amateur fight?" Chris nodded. He was ready, or so he thought. The fight was brutal. He fought a guy named Kevin the Hammerhall, a 22-year-old beast built like a refrigerator. The first round Chris got demolished. The second round more of the same. His legs felt like spaghetti. His ribs screamed. In the corner, Coach Sal grinned like a maniac. "You still want to be a boxer, restaurant boy?" Chris coughed, laughed, and said, "I clocked in for this. I ain't clocking out yet." Round 3. Chris fought like his whole life was on the line. And while he didn't win, he didn't quit. And in boxing, that matters more than most people know.
That first fight was just the beginning. He lost more than he won. He worked more than he slept. There were days his bank account made him laugh. $6.43 is comedy after a while. And still, he stayed. Training, working, bleeding, growing. Years passed. He built a small following. People loved his story. The dishwasher turned fighter. Local newspapers wrote about him. From pasta to punches, the Chris Ortega story. But he was still Chris. Still humble. Still catching the bus to work. Still cleaning tables after gym nights.
Then one day, his phone rang. It was Coach Sal. "Chris, you sitting down?" Chris wiped flour off his apron. "You got a fight offer." Chris chuckled. "Sal, I always got fight offers." "Yeah, but not like this one. A pro fight, real contract, real money, real chance." Chris sat down on an empty box of tomatoes. His hands shook. Not from fear, but from remembering every single night he almost gave up.
His pro debut wasn't in Madison Square Garden. It wasn't even in a big city. It was in a small community center gym somewhere in Pennsylvania. The crowd was tiny. The lights were dim. But for Chris, it might as well have been the world stage. He won. Barely, ugly, but beautifully. He didn't knock the guy out. But he outworked him. Every round, every second, just like he always had.
Years later, when people asked him how he made it, Chris would smile and say, "It wasn't talent. It wasn't luck. It was doing two things really, really well, working hard and not disappearing when life got hard." His hands still ached sometimes. Old injuries, bad knees, but those hands, the same ones that scrubbed dishes, carried trays, punched bags, hugged his mother, lifted him from nothing. Those hands built a life. Not glamorous, not perfect, but real. And when he wasn't fighting, you could still find him sometimes at Bella Vita, sitting in the back, drinking coffee, laughing with Mr. Dominic, and reminding the new kids in the kitchen, "Doesn't matter if you wash dishes or throw punches. Just keep showing up. That's how you win."
Everyone wants the belt. But the real champions, they earn it long before the ring. Christopher Ortega.